back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a book haul for you. I'm missing technically a single pre-order, but this is getting really out of control in this room and I really need to get the books on my shelf. So I figured I'd film this and I will just insert a picture of the pre-order that hasn't gotten here yet because this is getting to be a lot and I'm very overwhelmed. So this month I went out of control and I think it's because technically I feel like I bought a lot of books in May, but really I think a lot of them were sneaky April purchases because I technically got all the books on Independent Bookstore Day, on Independent Bookstore Day, which was April 30th, but obviously they weren't in my April haul because they were April 30th. So they felt like May. If you're interested in watching that video, I definitely have that one somewhere linked or in my page. Those books I kept separate. And then technically I did that book challenge of read these books to buy books. So I purchased those technically at the very end of April as well, but they weren't here until technically May. So they're in this book haul. So May feels very overwhelming, but I don't think it's actually as bad as I think it is, but it feels really bad. So let's start off with the books that I told you I was going to purchase once I read the certain amount of books. There is one that I decided not to purchase because I found it on Hoopla, so I was I'd rather just read it on Hoopla than spend money on it. So the ones that I did end up getting were The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. This is about kind of a time travel-y hotel. It sounded like a book that if you like Blake Crouch, you'd like this one. So because I like Blake Crouch, I thought I'd like this one. So I grabbed this. The Good Rich People by Elsa Jane Brazer. She wrote the book If I Disappear, which I've not read. But this one I believe is about a woman who ends up living in this person's guest house. And she thought that they were going to be this perfect family. And I don't think that they're as perfect as it seems. And then Shadows of Pecan Hollow by Caroline Frost. This is a story about a woman who I believe when she's younger, she ends up kind of getting abducted into this Bonnie and Clyde situation. And I think she finally gets out of it and I think she ends up having a child. And the guy who was the Clyde, the abductor, I believe he ends up finding her. And I think they kind of have a come to terms with what happened in their past story. And then The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. This one is about a pandemic where it's after COVID. So COVID does exist in this world, but it's years later. And now we have a pandemic called The Violence, which is basically you get it. And on my camera, and I'm nervous that I'm actually glitching out. So The Violence, like I said, is a pandemic where you get it and you basically break out into violent tendencies. And it's terrifying. But it also kind of looks at domestic violence and the generational trauma, and it's been very interesting. I'm currently reading it. I'm almost done with it. I'll talk more about it in a wrap-up at some point. And then we've got The Wedding Veil by Christy Woodson Harvey, which I've already read and really loved. Dual timeline perspective, which is my favorite. Basically, women trying to find themselves. We find our first woman in the contemporary setting. She's about to get married, and things go wild on her, and then we're following her grandmother. In the current timeline, her husband has recently passed, and she's really just trying to find herself again. And then we are following the two past perspectives, Edith, who is an original owner of this veil, and Cornelia, the Vanderbilts. I didn't even mention that in my wrap-up. They're the Vanderbilts, so the Vanderbilt veil is tied into this, and it's a really great story, and I really liked it, so definitely one that I'm glad I purchased. I have two purchases of random purchases. One is a random Target purchase, and that is The Homewreckers by Mary Kate Andrews. I've read a couple books by Mary Kate Andrews, and I thought that they were okay. I liked them. She writes romancy, summery, mystery-ish type books. And last year's book, The Newcomers, intrigued me, but I never picked it up. And then this one's been getting a lot of buzz, and I was like, I need it. So I was in Target and I saw it and I bought it. I feel like if I like this one, I will give the newcomers a chance. I don't know. I felt like I was missing out on things. And she is like one of like Diane Chamberlain's like best friends. So like I feel like I have to love her book. So I'm going to give her another shot. And then I did I need a book to purchase so that way I can get same day delivery. That is so bad. This has happened to me way too many times the past few months. But I got When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. This one takes place on a plantation where I believe that there is a white woman who's trying to get married there, but like the souls of the plantation don't want her there. But I don't know much else about that. But it's short. It looks like it'll be a really quick read, and I'm excited for it. My husband bought me a book as a joke. So we were watching stories on Instagram, and I was watching the Melanated Reader story, and she was at a convention where people were just like pitching their books to her, and this book got pitched, and we could not, I don't know why, there was just like something about this pitch that just like sounded hilarious to us. And it's about, I should show it, Crying Meadows. This is by Avery Good, and it's about these people who own a golf course, and then they like kill people to then use as fertilizer for their golf course. It just sounded so wild, and so we couldn't stop laughing about it, and we couldn't stop joking about it. So he purchased it for me, so that way I could see what it's about. It sounded really interesting. So he grabbed that one for me. Then why don't we go to Book of the Month books for a second? So we've got good old Book of the Month. You know I'm a member. I've been a member for God knows how long at this point. I was living in my apartment. So like 2015, 2016, I've been a member since, I think. It's wild. And I'm coming up with my new 1-year membership anniversary thing where I have to buy my next year's subscription, which I'm like, how did another year go by? But yeah, so Book of the Month. If you didn't know, it's a subscription service where you pay a certain amount per month for a book. I think they just went up like $1, I think, on their prices, where it's like $14.99 a month, and then any extra add-ons is $10.99 a month. But again, these are brand new hardcovers of like pretty new released books, so like you're still getting a really good discount. They will show you anywhere from 5 to 7 books each month. You get to choose one. You're allowed to add 2 add-ons. Sometimes there's some extra books that aren't added as the 7 that you can add on. You could always add on past books. You can usually use my link down below to get your first book for $5, which again, a brand new hardcover book, you can't pass that up for $5. So yeah, this month is my box. Not sponsored in any way, by the way, which is why I probably sound like a crazy person trying to pitch it. I ended up getting Siren Queen by Nebo. Now, this one was a book that was considered an add-on. It wasn't part of the selection. It was an extra add-on option. I thought originally that this was like a clearly like 1920s, like old Hollywood style book. And it is, but it's also fantasy, which I did not expect. It says, from award-winning author Nebo comes a dazzling new novel where immortality is just a casting call away. So it sounds like it'll be good. It's really short. I'm excited to still give it a try. The main book that I chose this month was Breathless by Amy McClock. This one is a journalist who goes to climb this mountain to interview like this mountaineer, and I think people start dying, and that's all I needed to know. I don't know if I'll save this one for winter or if I'll read it sooner than that, but it just sounded right up my alley. And then this one was another, I believe, add-on versus like main choice. And this is Marrying the Ketchups by Jennifer Close. Now, I've read a book by her previously that I wasn't a huge fan of. It was like called The Wedding Dress or something like that. And this one, though, sounded really good. And it's been a long time, so like she's probably like honed on her craft and has gotten better. And it says, an irresistible comedy of manners about 3 generations of a Chicago restaurant family and the deep-fried, beer-battered, cream cheese frosted love that feeds them all. I just had to hear that they were a family that owned a restaurant, and I was like, I need you in my life because I love books about food and restaurants. And I also was apparently really feeling the blue this month because all of these are blue. But yeah. So because of this, one of the choices was Part of Your World, which I also really wanted to choose, but I had no more room in my box because I had all 3. But Amazon was having a buy one, get one half off sale on certain books, and that was one of them. So I grabbed Part of Your World. I've never read anything by Abby Jimenez, but it just, I don't know why, but I felt like I really needed to read this one. I've been seeing such glowing reviews for it, so I had to grab it. And my book that I got for half off was The Wolf Den by Ella D. Harper. This one I feel like is going to scratch the itch that I am missing with Kate Quinn. So if you've been following me for a while, Kate Quinn now writes World War II novels. But back when I first got into Kate Quinn and when I was first reading, like, reading when Borders was open, she used to write Egyptian fiction. And not Egyptian, but, like, Roman fiction. I don't know why I said Egyptian. Let me just grab one. So, like, this is how I know Kate Quinn. I know Kate Quinn from this. And I've been, like, looking for, like, a Roman, like, style book like this for a long time. And I hope that this is it. And this is following a girl who's in a brothel. And not this one, but one of the books follows a woman in a brothel. So I was like, maybe this will scratch the itch. So we'll see. I haven't heard too much about it, but hopefully it is fantastic. Then let's get into my pre-orders for the month. I have 4 right here. I have 1 more on its way. The one that I don't have right now is called Hide. This one sounds like a game and just fun, and it sounded like perfect for summer, so I grabbed that one. I will talk more about that one in a wrap-up of some kind because I have a feeling it's going to be read, like, immediately. So I'll post a picture here. Maybe I'll even put it in my next month's book haul once I finally get it. But I wanted to mention that I did also pre-order Hide. I pre-ordered Book Lovers by Emily Henry, especially once it wasn't a Book of the Month choice. And I was like, I had a weird feeling, like, even though I knew it should have been a Book of the Month choice, I had a weird feeling it wasn't going to be. So I ended up pre-ordering it. She is the same author who wrote Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. I did like Beach Read better. I've heard this one is, like, the best. I also have it on Libro FM as an audiobook, so I'm hoping that I will definitely be getting to this one this summer. I also pre-ordered Emma Straub this time tomorrow. I don't know why. This just has been, like, calling my name. I think lately, like, I've just been really into this, like, speculative, like, magical realism where it's, like, mostly contemporary but, like, a slight magical twist to it. And I think that this one is about a girl who, it says that she takes a vacation to her past on her 40th birthday. I think she wakes up when she's back in her 16th birthday in 1996 when I was 6. And I think she kind of, like, reunites with her dad. And I don't know, it sounded fantastic. So I wanted to try that one. A book that I am shocked to say that I pre-ordered this. I never thought I would ever have this author on a release date ever. And that's Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. I've only read The Honeymooners, and I hated it so badly that I got rid of my not my half night stand. Is that what it's called? Got rid of that one, whatever that one was called, and I got rid of, there's another one that I got rid of. What was it called? Love in Other Words. I got rid of that one. Because I was, like, really put off by The Honeymooners, and I didn't want to read any of the other ones. But this one just sounded really good, and everybody kept talking about it, and everybody kept saying, like, this is not like any other Christina Lauren book. And I was like, if it's not like any other Christina Lauren book, maybe I'll actually like it. And it sounded like there was, like, an adventure and a scavenger hunt, I think, or a treasure hunt, and I was like, this is a traveling book. This just sounded like a perfect, like, I need to read this summer type of book. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that one. And then my last pre-order was Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance by Allison Espach. And I believe this is about a woman whose sister goes missing. And she ends up kind of like writing letters, I think, to her sister who's missing. I don't know if it's actually like a letter or not. I don't know. I think it like looks back at a summer that they had together. I don't know. It sounded really good and heartbreaking and funny, and I don't know. I needed to have it. And look, it doesn't this scream like you need to read it over the summer? So I grabbed it. And then 2 books that I randomly purchased because I had to. After I finished The Wedding Veil, I had to go and buy the book that she released last summer. This is called Under the Southern Sky. This one sounds like a really deep, meaningful story too. We're following a girl and this guy and this girl. They were married, and I believe she dies, but they still have embryos. Oh, I just bit my tongue. Embryos that they had created, I'm assuming to use through IVF. And like after she died, he kind of like forgot all about them. And I think now he's trying to figure out like what to do with them. And I think he ends up reconnecting with this other childhood friend. And I think that they are kind of trying to figure out, like, do we do something with them? Do we not do something with them? It sounded really interesting, especially in light of everything that's going on in the world right now. So I thought I would give this one a try. And I also got the Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I just feel like lately the Jenna Bush books I've been picking up, I've been really interested in them. It's not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's just like screams summer as well. And I just kept seeing this cover everywhere. And I was like, I need to have it. And it's beautiful. And like the chapter pages, let me see if I can find one for you. Like this book just looks gorgeous. And I think the octopus or the squid, yeah, it's an octopus, has like a perspective. It says a charming, witty, and compulsively readable exploration of friendship, reckoning, and hope that traces a widow's unlikely connection with a giant Pacific octopus. I had to read it. I had to get it. And then I have 2 books that I got this month for review through Biblio Lifestyle, so I'm so thankful for them. So these will be getting a spotlight on my Instagram page. One of them is In the Face of the Sun by Denny S. Bryce. I actually got 2 copies, so definitely keep your eye on my Instagram because I will be giving one of these away. This is by the same author who wrote Wild Woman in the Blues, which I loved. Last year, it was a historical fiction book that took place in like that 1920s, 1930s age, which you know me, I love. This one has to do with a newly built hotel in 1928, and then we're also in Los Angeles, but we're also following in 1968. We're following in Chicago a woman who was trying to escape an abusive husband. It sounds fantastic. I cannot wait to read this one. I think that this one is supposed to be on my Instagram in June. And then I also have The Murder Rule by Dervla McTiernan. I think I have to read this one by Saturday, so I'm hoping to get to this one really soon. This one, I think we're following a mother-daughter story. One running from a horrible truth and the other one fighting to reveal it. First rule, make them like you. Second rule, make them need you. Third rule, make them pay. Do I need to say anything more? I don't think so. So I will be reading and reviewing this one at some point as well. So like I said, there's my May-April smorgasbord book haul. I need to definitely not buy any books in June. I actually deleted a lot of my pre-orders in June. I had a ton of pre-orders in June. I deleted a lot of them because this month felt so overwhelming with all of this, plus what I bought during the independent bookstore day. So I need to slow it down a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I will see you guys really soon. Let me know if you've read any of these or any of these on your list of checking out.